Kia ora te whānau. Kia ora my beautiful whānau. Kia ora to everyone watching all around the world. No mai hoki mai ki te pāmu. I can't bring you guys to my farm, so I'm going to bring my farm to you. I'll put these down there because I won't be using them. I'll take my overalls off too. No, I won't be doing that because I'm not wearing any undies under these ones. But no reira, ko takitumi te waka. That's the waka that my ancestors travelled to Aotearoa in. Ko Mauwau te maunga, ko Mauwau te maunga. That's the mountain that I used to run up for fitness for rugby. Ko Tauranga te mona, that's the mona that we used to go and gather kai for tangianga when someone would pass away. My whānau, ko Pirirako te hapu, that's where all my whānau are from. Ko Ngātirangi Nui, rawa ko Ngāti Pukinga, te iwi. That's the umbrella that all of my whānau are from. So, ho Tangaroa hau. So, kia ora everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm going to take you guys on a bit of a trip down memory lane for me, but also I'm going to tap into your guys' imagination because as you can see there is a blank screen. And with your imagination, you can do everything. And when I was young, my imagination was all I had. When I was born into this world, my biological mother made the tough decision to give me to one of her friends. So I was brought up by a lady by the name of Aroha, who I call my mum. My mum, all of our whānau, we're all in this sort of, we lived on the other side of the train tracks, brought up around drugs and alcohol. All my whānau and my cousins that I used to look up to all had big gang patches on their backs, just like this one. Except I grow a different type of grass and I get paid legally for it. So with all of my upbringing that we had, you can imagine I was a young kid. We lived in a tent for about a year and a half of my life. Our tent was underneath this big pear tree. We had grapes next to our tent and a kiwi fruit orchard as well. And there were just, honestly, fruit flies for Africa. And I remember it vividly because the stench of rotten fruit was all around our little campsite. Now, it's cool to go camping every now and then, but to live in a tent is a different story. Picture this. A 4-year-old sits inside a house, his nana's house. His nana's passed away, and just another night on the piss for mum. I'm sitting there, my cousins are babysitting me. My mum used to get on the piss Monday to Sunday. Every day was a Saturday night for her. And I'm sitting there asleep, 4 o'clock in the morning. Hear this knock on the wall, dug, dug, dug. And I wake up and my mum comes through the door and she's crying. Blood's pouring from her head. And I'm sitting there as a 4-year-old. I look over my mum and tell mum to come over, sit her down on the couch. I grab a bowl of water, stick it under her, and I bathe her in this bowl of water. And my mum had crashed her car, drunk driving, gone through the front windscreen, pulled back and got scalped and walked home drunk. So this was the path that I was going down. We were breaking into cars and stealing stuff. And all of my whānau that I used to look up to, they taught me that if you wanted something, go and bloody get it. So that was the upbringing that I was shaped to be going down and looking up to my cousins with patches. That was where I was going to be going. And then something magical happened. You see, when I was bathing my mum's head, I made a phone call to my uncle and auntie to come and help me and my mum. And they seen what was going on with me and my upbringing. So they decided to adopt me at 5.5 years old. And that's when things took a different route to the one that I was on track to heading down. So I got introduced to bloody cows. So here I am, 5 years old, up on this rural block with my uncle and auntie at the back of Whakamarama. Uncle's got this farm and these cows and pigs and all the rest of it. And anyway, my auntie, she was a very lovely lady. She loved me, got me anything that I needed, but she couldn't cook for shit. And I don't know if you guys have had a toast, right? You have a toast. Toast is nice, it's nice, right? Butter melts on it. But when you have a toast that's about 6 hours old, 2 toasts with a bit of tomato in between, it's been sitting inside a lunchbox for a wee while, that tomato toasted sandwich becomes very sloppy and yuck. So I used to go to school, and on Thursdays at Whakamarama school, we'd line up and we'd get lunch order day. So I'd be sitting there, there'd be a window here, kids would all line up to get their lunch orders, they'd get their pie, their raspberry square and their orange drink, and I'd be sitting there thinking, far out, I wish I had $5 so I could bloody get a frickin' pie, because I've got tomato sandwiches and they are sloppy, and I'm sick of them. So I went home that day and I said to my uncle, Uncle, what can I do to get some money? Can I have $5? And he's like, Yep, you can have $5. Go get that cow up there in the paddock. Go get that cow in, separate the mum, let her bag up overnight, bring her in the morning before you go to school, and then what you can do, we'll milk that cow, we can feed the pigs and our pig dogs. And that was sort of what I had to do for my $5. The problem is I was doing that for the next 6 years. Yeah, he was a bit of a hustler, my uncle. So I was 11 years old, guys, up Whakamarama school, lunch bell rings, dring, dring. All these kids run out onto the deck and this fella walks up, jumps out of this flash green Holden Commodore V8 lowered mags, beautiful blonde wife hops out, and he struts up the school green like he's walking through a paddock with standards and a reel. And it's a proud walk, right? These farmers, they're on a mission. And I see this fella, and I run up to him, and I'm like, G'day, mate, what do you do for a job? And he's like, oh, I'm a dairy farmer. And I was like, oh, wicked, what are you here for? And he said, oh, I'm just here to set up the cross country. So I ran inside, asked Miss Holloway, Miss, can I go around and help this fella set up the cross country? She was like, yeah, whatever, go in, set up the cross country with this guy. And for 2 hours, I picked his brain about what he did. You know, milking cows, driving tractors, motorbikes. You know, he's got chalets down by the ski fields in Ohakune, beautiful whānau. I was like, man, I want that. So this 11-year-old kid, imagination, right? You guys are on this little imagination story with me as well. This kid ends up working for this fella for the next 7 years. So although I was going to Tauranga Boys College and Whakamarama school every school holidays, every weekend, I was going down and working with this fella. And this guy, Ian, taught me that there is a different hustle game going on. So for these 7 years, every time I went down and worked for him for breakfast, we'd sit at this dinner table. For lunch, we'd sit at this dinner table. And I would just sit there and listen to this guy hustle. And he could hustle, man. So their whānau, they had 2 dairy farms. They had a 150 cow farm, or 180 cow farm, 110 cow farm. They had a piggery. I think it was one of the biggest piggeries in New Zealand. They had a kiwi fruit pulping factory that used to extract the kiwi fruit oil, export it overseas. They also had a big mulching business. So for that hour, this guy was just on the phone hustling, 24/7. Tangaroa, go grab some milk, come back, have my sandwich. Tangaroa, go down and load that guy up, come back. You know, this is from like 12 years old all the way through till I was 18. Anyway, 18, we're standing in the cow shed. I've left school, left Tauranga Boys College, played rugby, rep rugby all the way through, and I'm sitting there, and we're just cupping up for the wash. The sun's coming up, and I say to Ian, I want to be rich. I want to be like you. And he's like, all right. And I was like, what do I need to do? And he goes, oh, you need to go to where the grass grows the greenest and the cheapest. And I was like, oh, sweet, where's that? He said, Southland. I was like, shit, where the hell is Southland? So I go home, tap into my dial-up internet, search Southland, comes up with, this place with pubs and the Southland stags and whatnot. And so I Googled Southland farming. This guy by the name of Ivan Lyons pops up. So I ring this guy, Ivan. You know, I'm 18 years old, don't know anything about farming on that level. Ring Ivan. Hey, g'day, Ivan. I'm Tangaroa, young farmer up in Tauranga, want to be successful. Have you got any jobs? Kia ora, Tangaroa. Look, what you can do, mate, is send your CV to me and I'll have a look for some jobs. I'll send it out to some of our farms. Okay, thanks, Ivan. See ya. Jump off the phone. What the bloody hell is a CV? Holy heck. So I Google CV and I'm like, sweet, copy and paste that one. Paste it over there, delete the name, put mine in there, sign the bottom, off you go. So cut a long story short, I ended up getting down there, won a few competitions, and was in a position to go and network with all of these amazing people. I was going around on these speaking engagements, speaking at schools and universities, and I got sick and tired of it at 22 years old because I felt like I was an hourglass of inspiration. I would come and speak to audiences like you. I've been speaking to audiences like this for 9 years now. And I'd come to you and talk to you and tell you how cool life is and all the rest of it. And you'll be like, yeah. And then 24 hours later, you go back to doing the same boring job that you were doing yesterday. And all of a sudden it fizzles out. And that's the end of Tangaroa coming in and inspiring you. So I got sick of that. Being a dairy farmer, we're very physically busy, but mentally we're very bored. So for the last 8 years, guys, I've been trying to come up with this concept. YouTube's awesome, but is it trusted? No, anyone can feed the information into it. How do we come up with some sort of technology where we can capture all of the learnings from these successful people who dominate their space in our dairy industry and put it into this video learning hub called the Farm for Life Hub, and then being able to measure not only the people's learning via video, but also how they go in quizzes that pop up straight after. So for like 7 or 8 years, I sat in my cow shed milking, thinking about this idea. At the start of lockdown, I went and spoke to one of my mentors and I said, this is my idea, how do we bring it to life? And for the entire lockdown, I sat on the phone with this guy, my mentor's name's John Skoll, and we sat there from 10 o'clock at night till 2 o'clock in the morning every single night during lockdown, writing this blueprint about farming. I'm not just talking how to get the cows in, we're talking soil health, soil nutrition, environmental management, breaking it right down onto a regional level and putting all of these knowledge videos inside this hub because, I can't read, guys. I'm a very bad reader. Definitely can't spell. And, for somebody like me who wanted to leave school at 13, 14, because they kept getting knocked out being the dumbass and being in the cabbage class. And, for somebody like that, what have they got? Pretty much nothing at the moment. So for me, I was like, let's go out and do this. So me and John Skoll, we wrote this blueprint, 6,500 videos. We've designed this architecture to this hub. We're just rolling out our app now. We went on this journey of, how can we try and get this out there to the world? And that's when we brought Farm for Life social media to action. And look, I've been building on this social media platform for the last 2.5 years now, and I think we've hit just under 250,000 followers now on social media, so it's like a day in the life of farming every single day, the highs, the lows, the celebrations, just trying to showcase what this industry is all about and how we've got this vision to shoot way ahead, guys. So I just want to bring a bit of light to the power behind this hub. At the moment, we've got a very big challenge on hand. The amount of people that are jumping off the waka at the moment. We're on this big waka, and we've got these farmers in the gumboots over here and over there, rowing like shit. But 60% of them are jumping off the waka every single year from farms. So we've got a very high turnover in our industry. Why is that? I don't think our stories are being told. A lot of the times when I see my staff and talk to them about how they have meetings with their previous bosses, it's always along the laneway. So you'll be driving along the laneway and your boss will be coming past on his motorbike. What are we up to today? Oh, this is what we're doing today. Sweet, how are we going to do it? Well, this is how we're going to do it. You're going to do this, that, and the other. Why are we doing that? Because I frickin' said. And that's what happens, guys. That is our mindset out there at the moment. So what I wanted to do is try and make all of these videos so that we can teach people the why behind everything that we do, get them fully to understand the responsibility that we have as farmers, and if we can do this from a young level all the way up through to managing contract milking and share milking into farm ownership, I think we're going to be on the track for success. For me, this journey is only just getting started. We've just rolled out the hub, and we've just rolled out Hub Scholarship, so anybody all around the world can jump on and buy a Hub Scholarship for any student in New Zealand, any hapu or any iwi. That student will get a login. They'll literally jump onto our hub and then they'll get access to all of our videos. And then every 3 minutes a quiz pops up, captures the knowledge that you've just learned from the video. It gets saved to your individual profile. And when that 12-year-old says to their mum, I want to leave school, they can come up to a handsome fellow like you and say, g'day mate, can I please have a job? And you're going to say, what do you know about farming? What's your phone number? I'll flick you through my Hub Scholarship. And then all of a sudden you've got access to that profile. You can see all of the videos that they've watched, how they've gone in the quizzes, and you can actually measure how these guys are going to go on your farm. So the ability for you to be able to drag and drop all of that information to the staff. Our motto, guys, is to try and give these people the experience before they need it, because there's nothing worse than getting to the coalface without a pick. I hope that in 2 years' time, I'll be back up here and we'll be talking about our app and about how millions of people are getting inspired to be farmers and rock gumboots like this. Hopefully they'll have cow shit on them, the next ones. Thanks, team.